Okay, so we're getting started at the Van Ness Neighborhood Alliance meeting today. So let me just turn this around real quick.
So anyway,
Who's calling me?
so I hope everybody has an agenda. There's information on the back of this. It's very important. So something that you take home. And if you have questions, they probably get answered with this information. So I'm going to start our agenda first with the Pledge of Allegiance. I ask everybody to please stand. And our flag is here. Okay, we want to turn. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please stand one moment for a moment of silence. Also,
For Charlie.
tragic assassination this afternoon, or not too long ago, that happened. For the family. Charlie Kirk. Yeah, Kirk, yes. Okay, thank you so much.
Just a quick note. You notice Shirley Albedo did not show up to this debate. So it's Joelle and Christy.
Okay, for anybody who does not know, my name is Bernadette Farrar. I'm the president of Van Ness Neighborhood Alliance. To my right is John Messenger, who is our treasurer. To his right is Sterling Jackson Mendez, who is the vice president. To my left is Marion Manfredi, our secretary. Our sergeant of arms at this time today is on vacation, and we have two trustees, Stratton and Purdom, and Joanne Kellogg, and an honorary trustee, which is Hazel Euro. And
Wow.
if there's any questions also about your membership, because we do have quite a few people who have the memberships that are overdue, please see John Messenger. Of course, not during the meeting, hopefully after the meeting, or if you want to have a conversation, if you have questions, please, he's the person to speak to. And we're going to start off with introducing, I'm so happy to see Eric here, our new captain, which is Captain Julianne Stapleton.
Sergeant Novak, you team sergeant, Officer Ahmed, and Officer
Phil and Officer Bell. And welcome back. So I'm going to leave you, Captain, to welcome, talk a little bit about yourself, etc. And then.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me. I am so excited. I've been, since I found out I was gonna get this command, I've just been waiting, and I'm like, hurry up. I'm a big nerd. I love research, and as I was looking into what the 4-9 precinct represented, what I fell in love with was the amount of groups that was present in this neighborhood. Because when you see a lot of people and a lot of civic association, it means that this is a neighborhood that people love and that they cherish. And the best thing that you can have is a neighborhood that's filled with people who are invested, who love their communities, and are willing to do everything to keep it safe. So it is a complete honor and privilege to be here with you guys today. When I had my community interview, I hope I impressed upon everybody that community was a really, really big part of just my everyday goings about. So I'm just really excited to get involved and jump in and just be here to get started with you all. So in the next few months, because it's a lot of you all, there's a lot of you guys, and I still have to make sure that I'm on top of the crime, because at the end of the day, one victim is just one victim too much. So I want to make sure I dedicate just as much energy into all the community events as I am into the crime fighting. but I would love to have opportunities to just to talk to you guys to find out what it is that you love about this community and what it is that I have to, because I want to understand exactly what it is that I'm here to protect, right? And I'm only going to know that if I speak to you because you guys are here every day. We are here to be partners with you, you know, and I make sure that wherever I am, you know, I impress upon my values upon the people that I lead. And I'm very big on making sure that we lead with integrity and that we lead with our whole entire heart, like my friend Amore over here. Okay? So, if you want to know a little bit about my history, I started my career in 2007. I was what they call in the department, they kind of make fun of us. I was a Queens Marine for the very beginning of my career. So I worked in the 115, which is Jackson Heights. I worked out in Far Rockaway, which on both sides, the 100 and the 101. Worked in Jamaica, which is the 103 precinct. I was there as a lieutenant, got a department scholarship, had a year leave of absence to work on my master's degree and got a master's in criminal justice. Then I went to police headquarters where I worked on a lot of strategy and policy and things like that. Once I was there, I also had an opportunity to go to FBI National Academy, which is a great experience. And then I got promoted to captain, went to Manhattan North. So I was in the Upper West Side and the Upper East Side. And now I'm here. So I'm just making my rounds across the city. But I grew up in the city. I was born in Trinidad, but I grew up in the city since I was a year old. So grew up in Jamaica, Queens. Went to high school in Brooklyn. I don't know if anybody's a Brooklyn Tech alumni, but I am, Tech Knight. And now I'm here. My bachelor's degree was from Queens College. So I love this city. And that's what I look at the whole entire city as my home. There is something beautiful and vibrant about every community, every nation, every tongue that is in this place. And it is special, and it is what makes us so valuable and so special as New Yorkers. So everything about me is about New York City. That's all I got for now, because it's a lot. It's a little overwhelming. But right here I have my officers. Detective Paul, I don't know if she's going to talk about an event we have coming up that's really special. Another thing about me, usually I have my peer support pin, it broke off. But I'm very big on mental health and wellness. Definitely do a lot of stuff in the prevention of suicide. I've had, unfortunately, through the course of my career, a lot of officers that I've personally worked with that have been, that have lost their lives to suicide. And so it's really a big priority to me. Even when my officers, when they piss me off, I'll get very upset. But I'm always mindful about the fact that I want to make sure I protect the people mentally, emotionally, and everything like that. So I will, just like my son, I'm gonna beat them a little bit, but I'm gonna come back and hug them up afterwards. These officers, I know, in these communities, what really drives us crazy is the quality of life stuff, right? And so these officers, that's what they're focused on. So they'll talk a little bit more about that. But these are the things that we have to talk about today. And I don't know if anyone has any questions or anything for me, but if not, I'll turn it over to them. Okay?
Just briefly about the whole mental health thing. We had an event, the first time ever done in the city. We have a gentleman by the name of Alex Moreno. He is a viral TikToker. He wants to do for mental health and Suicide Awareness Month a challenge where he takes a vehicle and he pulls it with a rope down from White Plains Road and Pelham Parkway South, the service road, all the way down to the point of Jacoby Hospital, where that's on Wallace Avenue. That's about a mile of pulling a vehicle. We're there to support him. This is, like I said, it's the first time being done, especially in the confines of the 49th precinct, which is great. And we're just there to just push him through, and hopefully he gets through the challenge. And at the end of it, we'll just cheer him on for just mental health. Okay. It's going to be held on this Sunday, September 14th. The kickoff is at 11 a.m. Where is it? It's going to start at White Plains Road and Pelham Parkway South.
No, not White Plains Road. Williamsbridge Road, no. Or White Plains Road.
White Plains Road.
Oh, White Plains Road, okay.
The miles.
Thanks,
1
Robert.
mile. He's pulling that car.
Wow.
Okay, I think most of you know me, Sergeant Novak, formerly NCO team sergeant, now Q team. So I'm not sure what everyone's heard already about Q team, but basically it's majority the same officers and myself, and then there's also a day tour sergeant, Sergeant Perez. We basically, our job is to, compared to NCO, we're trying to focus more on the quality of life issues that you guys report to us directly. Our basis, every night we start off right from the 311 jobs. We go down the list, we prioritize keywords, being like loud music, parties, drinking, things that could potentially lead to violence. But I know every part of this command, parking is an issue. We get a lot of those as well.
Wow.
So we're doing our best to address as much as we can when we're here. But one big difference between NCO and what we're doing now is we are here 7 days a week. So NCO, we were here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Now we have 7 days a week coverage, daytime and nighttime. So that does help, but at the same time, the other side of that sword is we're kind of stretched a little more.
Short-handed.
So we don't have quite as many people on the street at one time, but we do have more coverage for the week. So, any questions?
I know that you had mentioned that there was going to be towing.
Yes.
Has that, and I know
So,
a couple of, few things.
Just to shed some light, one issue we're having with some tow yards, every time we respond to these jobs and call them up, they're reporting that they're full.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna look more into that, but whether they're telling the truth or not,
Step
I
over
can't
the
tell.
wire.
It seems a little suspicious to me. We have a big problem down in Seminole, over there, and I put in, so you know.
They put the bumps in.
I put two, in the last 2 months, I put two requests for, we have a quality of life division with their own tow department, and I put in 2 requests down there. So I'm still waiting on that, but
Wow.
the problem right now is like all of our resources.
Tomorrow,
I'm sorry?
in my office tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, everyone's just like a little overwhelmed, I think, because the entire department is now Q. So it's like all those resources are being called by every precinct. So, but I'll definitely do that.
Question.
Yes.
Yeah, I emailed the Q team, there's a porch pirate with a phony Amazon vest going
What?
around.
I'm sorry, say
There's a
that.
porch pirate with a phony Amazon vest. Skinny fellow, I think I emailed the Q team and also, Paul. Yeah, any status on that?
I'm not.
He's a phony Amazon vest, he's going around in the Morris Park area.
Oh, they're looking into it, so.
Yeah, I emailed you all.
Is that-
Yeah, okay.
How does one get in touch with the Q team? How does one get in?
I'm sorry, he was next.
Yeah.
Okay.
Commanding officers ago, I asked, what's the
What?
response
Q
time?
team.
I want it
And
on
was looking
video.
at- I was looked at as
For
if I
people
was
that are not
speaking
here.
foreign language. Now, at the press conference, it was said that the Q team would be responding within 30 minutes. What's the actual time that you'll be responding to a call?
What's the call?
To a 311 call, you know, to a call.
What's the 311 call?
It'll be within a half hour?
If you're calling for a parking violation on a Friday night in the summertime, when there's numerous other calls of fireworks, drinking, loud music, there's a list of priorities. So I can't, it's not a question I can just give you a yes or no, or an exact time. You know, we do, like I said, we do best we can. This summer, a big thing for us was music, loud music. We confiscated countless speakers. We did the best we can, taking fireworks off the road. Streets. Yes.
Okay, so for people that can make the meeting, explain how to reach you and what are we calling? 311, 911, Q11, what?
311.
311
That's what we got.
goes directly to, or,
That
okay,
goes- It's the same 311 system.
right.
It's just when we're in, that's what we work on.
So when you call 311, do you say I want to send it to the Q team?
As you always have.
Just 311, and then they forward it to you.
And it goes.
It goes to the precinct.
Mm-hmm.
We have, right now, I can show you on my phone.
They should have Q11.
This is where all these are being registered.
Legislation, Grace.
So we get them directly, nothing about that changed.
All right. Do you have
As far
the?
as contact information, I think there's a page right here.
No, I know it's there, but for people who watching, if you could say it out loud so they can see it, write it down.
Well, it's just, it's like, I will call
Call
them.
311.
No. He said to get. You have cards, right?
Yeah.
You have an actual phone number, right?
Sergeant Novak, 917-912-1285.
Okay. And
There's information,
Wait, hold-
I have this information that's.
no, I know, but I wanted to get it on
I'm just letting you know.
on live stream so people can.
For the 7 days, what are the shifts for the 7 days?
Okay, so for 7 days, I myself work Tuesday through Saturday,
Just don't step.
3 p.m.
Just don't
to
trip.
1 a.m. My counterpart, Sergeant Perez, he works Sunday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to roughly 5
What am I
p.m.
taking up too much time?
For the
Fuck
cops
it.
on.
It's not the
these
point.
guys
The point
here,
is I want it on here.
Wednesday, Thursday,
But
Friday,
what is it a
Saturday.
problem?
Once again, 3
So I'm
p.m.
about
to
ready
1
to.
a.m.
I'm about ready to
We
blow.
also have day
Seriously,
cops.
I've had it with this nonsense.
8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and that's they work Sunday through Wednesday, and then we also have officers who work 2 officers who work evenings Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, which would be once again 3
So
p.m.
there's a total of 12?
Yes, 12. And then we also have a couple. We have 3 designated quality of life traffic agents
Do we get
where they
more
go around
officers?
and address.
No, this is I'm
focus more
confused.
on the like traffic violations.
Red lights and running.
So
red
you
lights.
got more officers in the precinct then, right?
We didn't, from, what do you mean?
Like, did we get any more?
We
for
didn't
the-
get any more in the last.
Oh, you didn't get
2
any?
months.
Oh, I thought you.
Here's a question.
So wait, I've had my hand up. So there's no more sectors, no more ABC.
We still, we're all divided, like these guys are designated to Charlie, to C.
Oh,
right? We have-
okay. See, I know that.
But, that being said.
Brian, I'm
They're
gonna.
not, like, as you can see, they're here tonight, like, they're not tied down to staying
Uh-huh.
in one section.
Okay.
We help each other out. Like, right now, our
Whatever's
the 2
happening.
cops who cover Boy, they just had an arrest, so
Mhm.
the rest of the night is just the 3 of us. So we'll be
Oh.
moving around, all over the whole precinct.
All right, one more question and we're moving on, okay?
Yes.
So,
Hello.
Why?
and then we're moving
I
on.
have a problem with my neighbors. They playing loud music, mostly 4 or 5 days a week. And then, like in front of my house, always cars with paper plates or no plates at all, and I never see an agent, a traffic agent to give them a ticket or anything.
So
Sometimes
this is this is more of a complaint that you can report to us or 301. This is more for like general questions about the.
I've been calling 311 and I didn't get
What's
any
your-
answer.
What's your address?
When I put a report on 311, an hour later, they just say, oh, your report is already, is closed.
What's your address?
In the queue.
1729 Fillmore Street.
Alright, we'll take note.
We have a big problem with these neighbors since they came. There's like maybe like 10 males living there, so now they sitting on the sidewalk playing dominoes, drinking, listening to music. You're not even able to watch TV on your house because the music is too loud.
No, I
They
understand.
do carpenter in front of the house, they do mechanic, they do car washes, they do everything in there. They think that they own the street.
Alright, thank you for letting us
If you
know.
tell them anything, they tell me so many times that I just keep my mouth shut now.
Yeah.
I record everything, I had videos, but unfortunately, I lost my phone 2 days ago, so I don't have any pictures to prove.
Gotcha.
Do you have a cloud?
Well, you wrote it down. We'll
At
check
nighttime-
on it tonight, I promise.
At nighttime, they always park cars in front of the hydrant and they take the plates out. to avoid tickets. And then when they ready to go, they put it on.
Yeah, but you have a VIN number for a reason.
From Connecticut. And that's a big problem because in case of a fire, you know.
That's right.
Okay, all right, so, Elias, I mean, I know what's going on that block, you know.
Can I just say a positive comment?
Quickly, Maria.
I just want to thank you officers for your service. I had
That's
an
right.
issue with loud music, a block party, open bottle. I completed my report in the 311 application. Someone came in less than an hour. They confiscated whatever they needed to confiscate, and the block was back to normal. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, I just want to respond to you. So, that's one of the things that we're here for. So the officers made a commitment to you that they would look into it. Now, the next step, if you don't get satisfaction that way, or the problem is still occurring, you could call me if you like, and then, or Bernadette, and, right, and we can then follow up with officers and Christie to make sure that things get handled, okay?
Yes,
You do have support, you just have to let us know.
I already spoke to them the nice way. I asked them, can you please stop?
It's not gonna happen.
They get angry.
Yes, it's not gonna happen. It's a waste of time.
So, you know, I just get my mouth shut, nothing I can do. I cannot even enjoy to sit on my blanket.
Yeah.
Okay.
And make sure you're writing down the complaint numbers for the 911.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
All right. And one thing I just want to, officers, I just want you to know, where did you see that car? On you? 1679, right by the park. We have a car with all the wheels gone. That just happened.
I didn't see the car there
Huh?
yesterday.
And that hasn't happened. I haven't seen it visually in our neighborhood for a while. Okay. And so I haven't had a chance to do 311 yet, so I just found out. So, I'd like to get the officers to leave so that we
You said,
can.
I'm sorry, what was that address on Union Court?
Right across from the park,
1679.
in front of his house.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I just want everybody to know that there's all this information. I just want you to know what I do, what I tell other people to do. I have all of the officers, plus Officer Bell, Officer Paul, and now the cell number of the captain. I have it on a group text. So if anything happens, I do my 311 call, then I put it in there, say, I just made a 311 call, whoever is available, whoever is on duty, etc., please. And usually you will get a response back. So it's just a backup way. So this information is important. Do your group text. It's worked for me for years, okay? And it's hard to know that. Always, if he's on, he will respond right away. So, anyway, so this is important to stay connected. Now we know we have a face with the name. So this is important. Take it home, put it on the refrigerator. And quickly, I just want everybody to know there's something happening with regard on September 18th. If you're interested in going down to Seapool with regards to Just Homes. The information is all here. Please take it. If you're going to want to come down and be a part of it, this is very important. Stand up for your community. Show up.
You have to sign up if you want to speak, right?
I think you could sign up to,
If you
yeah.
want to submit,
You surely.
there's a link.
She does? Of course not.
On a piece of paper.
So what the hell
There's
is
a
this
link here
about?
for copy and paste it. You can submit your written testimony if you can't go there, because most people are working. So, but please submit something. If you are for it or oppose it, whatever it is, submit something. This is your voice. Okay?
Can I say there's a couple of free buses going down on Wednesday, leaves from 1900 Seminole on Wednesday. If anybody wants to go on the bus.
That's
Oh,
all.
okay, I couldn't,
Yeah, all
okay.
that information
Yeah,
is here.
so if they-
They show up at 7:30 in the morning.
Right. The bus leaves at 7:30,
Yes.
so be there before.
And also, April's reminding us that you can also zoom into the meeting if you can't go in person.
Okay, thank you. Oh, yeah, so everybody should show up. Everybody should show up one way or the other.
You coming? You coming on the bus?
Parade
No.
happening on October 12th, right? Sunday, October 12th. Information flyers here, please take it. Van Ness Neighborhood Alliance is having a full fall festival on Sunday, October 19th. There'll be more information, of course, in our next meeting. And our next meeting is going to be Thursday, October 2nd.
Oh.
Because we are having mayoral candidates, if we don't know exactly who's going to show up, but they are having a debate on October 1st in Queens. So, I will put the information out there by email, okay? So that is quickly what's going on with us, so I think our candidates have been graciously waiting. So,
So let me just go over the rules quickly, so we're on the same page. Everybody, we are very grateful to you for making the
My-
time to be
oh,
here.
it's one of those days.
It's
Thank
very
you.
important that the community have access to our city councilwoman and to others that want to compete for that role. You'll get 2 minutes for an introduction. You don't see three. What was it? 3 minutes for your introduction of yourself and why you're running, if you could talk about that. And then afterwards, we will have questions from the executive board and the audience. The way we handle that is, we will start off with a question, and then you'll have 2 minutes to answer that question. If you reference the other party that's running, then that person will get 1 minute for redirect, okay? And we really want to keep it civil and to make sure any criticism is about policy and not personal attention. So, yes, that's the way we do things.
if there's any questions that the audience wants, please come up here and take a card. Write down your question. You don't have to put your name, but write your question down and give it back to us. So here.
Aren't there 3 candidates though?
Yes, well, we didn't get to that yet. We're just talking about.
Too rushing, all right?
So, I just want to let you all know that each candidate was invited.
Yes.
Good.
Okay.
Just in the same way we did last time, you know, we play it straight here. So, every candidate was invited. We did not hear from Ms. Adobo at all. She didn't respond to the emails that were sent to her, okay? But she was invited. Okay.
Good for her. Good for us. It indicates what kind of a councilwoman she would be.
Okay, so do you want to? No, we have to have opening statement. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes,
Oh.
I know. Okay, so,
Oh, you're deferring to Lynn Calabresia.
well, to the incumbent. Yes, okay, Councilmember Marmorado is our incumbent, so she should get the first opening. Okay.
All right, well, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for having me here today. As you know, I'm your councilwoman, Christine Marmorado, and I represent District 13. I had a 24-year career in healthcare, and when the project came to my community that I wasn't very happy with, I started to get really involved within the district. And it really started to light up a passion in me, because from my healthcare background, I was always about taking care of others. But at this point, once this Just Home project came to the community, I knew that I had to step up and fight, and I really wanted to try to represent the community the way that it really lacked in the past. And I feel like I have done that so far. I have done a lot of work in a year and a half. I have expanded pre-K seats in City Island at PS 108. I am a mom, so I know how much education means to our children. I have allocated probably millions of dollars to our education over the last 2 years. I have supported the FDNY, NYPD, and EMS workers, all of our essential workers, especially DSNY. We've also allocated a ton of money to them, so they have the tools that they need to do their job. Our office has been very, very reactive to all of you. You call my office, your phone call will be answered. If you leave a message, it will be responded to the next day. You send us an email, you will get a response. Even if you Facebook message me, I personally am the one responding to it. Or if you add my name on a comment to put something on my radar, I will make sure that my team starts working at it. I feel like our office has been responsive. We're here to help you. We're here to be your liaison with the community and the city services, and yeah, and especially Van Ness. I appreciate you guys. You know, what we've done for Van Ness in the last 2 years, we've allocated about $5,000 in funding each year, so you have programming for discretionary. With the new development coming down on Faber Avenue, we got you guys a new home to host your meetings and more of a community center. So if you want to bring programs in for seniors, or if you want to do art classes, whatever it is that you'd like to do, you will have a new space to do that once the buildings are built. And we were also able to get you for the next 5 years as a nice little friendship with the developers, $25,000 a year over the next 5 years, or however.
25 in total, not each year.
No, it's $25,000 a year over the next 5 years.
I thought it was 5,000.
No, that's discretionary funding. But from the developer itself, you are going to receive $25,000, and if that's to help you build up things that you want to do, programs that you want to do for seniors.
I was not aware.
Yes. We're giving you $5,000 a year from the city council discretionary. But from the developers, you will get $25,000 a year over the next 5 years. And once you get your space, you can do a lot with that. So.
Yes, I was surprised. Okay, I'm speechless. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
whoa,
you.
we gotta mark this date. All right, well, thank you so much. And listen, I'm here and I want to maintain my job. This is my favorite job that I've ever had, is to really be involved in the community like this. And I hope that I'm able to continue in this path. So thank you.
All right, Mr. Joe Rivera.
Hi, everybody. Well, my name is Joel Rivera. To be honest with you guys, me running for office was the last thing that I thought I'd be doing. Similar to when our incumbent got elected, I started seeing a lot of changes in the community that I wasn't happy about. Similar things that a lot of us complain about, quality of life, some of the shelters and different things that to me were changing the dynamics of the community. That was one of the main things that made me decide to run. The other thing, to be honest with you, and this is probably the wrong audience to be saying it, but you guys that gotten to know me, I don't change what I say depending on my audience. I noticed that there was a lot of division in our community in a lot of different ways. Race was one of them, but more importantly, political division. And it was a reflection of what was happening nationally. Today there was a shooting, as I'm sure a lot of you guys were aware, about someone that was working for Trump and organizing youth and young people. And there's just been a lot of division nationally and in our area. When I was in this process of running, I got to know a lot of different people, and some of us agree on policies and some of us don't agree. And it just didn't make me feel well how divisive people were. It's almost like a line drawn in the sand. Either you're Republican or you're a Democrat, and it gets very, very, very intense. And to me, our political system shouldn't be about that. So I'm running as an independent. It doesn't really benefit me, right? Because if you're on one side of the aisle or the other side, you have the support of your party, and with that comes money and resources and mailings. But to me, I think that we need to work together. So that's why I created this independent line called the Unity Party. And I'm running as an independent person that wants to work with everybody. And that's it.
Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna start with, questions from our executive board, and like I said, please, anyone that has questions, write them there and bring them back to the chair.
Write it down.
I would like to start with a question. Sure. So, the question will, of course, be to the both of you, and my question, of course, we have the opening statement, but why should the residents of District 13 vote for you? Why are you a good fit for a council member? It's a very basic question, so, we have what, 2 minutes or 2 minutes for it? Okay, 2 minutes. We're gonna start with Joel, since he was the last one, so that is the question, and then we'll go on to council member.
I came from that world before I became a business. I understand some of the plights and concerns that we have, because they're my concerns as well. So the things that are brought up, I'm not one of these people that, you know, is only here once in a while. I have the same issues and concerns that most of the residents have. I think I can represent the community well, and I think that I'm open to hearing different people, and like I said in my opening speech, working with all different sides. I'm not all the way to the left or all the way to the right or caught up in any of those things. I just care about my quality of life and the everyday problems that residents that live in the 13th block.
You should call 311. He's concerned about the quality of life. Call 311.
I am District 13. I was born, raised here, and when I had an opportunity to buy a home, I moved to the other side of the district to start my life and raise my child in the Morris Park area. I grew up in Frog's Neck. I am here. I'm always going to be a fighter. This place is my heart. I've seen changes over time, and changes are going to happen, some good, some not so good, but I'm always going to be the fighter here for our community, because I, like you, we moved here for a reason. We all live here for a reason. People come from Queens, they moved here because we have a good quality of life, and I'm always going to fight to keep that. And again, I'm not going to win every battle down at City Hall, but you know what? I'm going to go down fighting as hard as I can for us, and I'll always portray our message down there. And I'll never be swayed in any way other than by what you guys want.
Okay, so we're gonna go to one audience question. So crime, no, I don't know where this stuff's come from, but crime in the Bronx has increased by 70%. Our Van Ness neighborhood had a couple of shootings recently. Are you planning to create any initiatives that will change current bail reforms and handle serial offenders? So I guess this time, Christian.
Okay. Crime is up all over the city. I got news for you. It's not just here in the Bronx. And we have a struggle getting more officers in our 2 precincts because the rest of the Bronx is having an even harder time with crime and drugs happening. So unfortunately, we end up losing out. Now, bail reform, that's a state issue that has nothing to do with us in the city council, unfortunately.
That's right.
But I am trying to fight for as much resources. I'm here to support. When I spoke to the new commanding officer, I said, I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait to sit down with you, because I'm here to give you every tool that you need to be successful, because when she's successful, we're successful and we're safe together as a community.
That's a state issue.
Okay. So there's a crime. No, but he wants me to repeat the question.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So sorry. Okay. Crime in the Bronx has increased by 70%. Our Van Ness neighborhood had a couple of shootings recently. Are you planning to create any initiatives that change current bail reform and handle serial offenders?
I don't know if crime's gone up 70% in the Bronx, first of all, so you know, so I would dispute that statistic to begin with. But I think we need to continue to work with the police, like I've mentioned in the past. I think we need to have more programs where the community sees the police as a partnership, right? We're very good, and we have access to these police officers. They know us. So when you know an officer, if these officers here see you guys or anyone in this room, they're gonna respond to us very differently than the average residents, because there's that working relationship. So we need to have more programs that connect the police with regular community members, especially youth and young people, like basketball tournaments that they've done, things that engage the police officers with the community in a non-confrontational way, so that they see us as partners and not adversaries. We all want the same thing, most of us. We want a safe community, we want less crime, and we need to make sure that we're all seen as being on the same team and working together. And that only happens when you get to connect with the police officers in a non-confrontational way.
Is there a way with city council, I'm sorry, I'm just asking, maybe that's on everybody's mind. I know it's a state issue with the bail reform, but is there any way that the city can work with state at all on something like this? To influence or to suggest or have?
We can create a resolution calling on the state to make changes, but I doubt with the temperature of the current city council that that's even gonna happen or get.
Sometimes they come out of
I just was wondering if it was something that has already been thought of and.
They're looking to abolish the gang database, so, you know, that's not the mindset of our current.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so, I wanted to ask, so one thing that I've noticed in Van Ness, in the past couple of years, that's causing a tremendous amount of decline in the quality of life in our community is, again, we have, when our revered elderly members, if they pass, or if somebody sells their home, the people that come and buy that home tend not to be families that are going to actually live in that home. A lot of times they become absentee landlords, and they don't get their tenants. They maintain their property in horrible fashion, and then they're getting checks automatically from the city. And it's super upsetting, because if you are a taxpayer and you work your tickets off to try to maintain a home, you pay your taxes and try to be a decent citizen, and then next door you have a situation like what Elias was describing. So what I wanted to know, would there be a chance that you would be open to legislation to take landlords that have repeated tickets, offenses, off of the list of eligible landlords for city programs? Is there any way to do that? Because next door to me, this property, it was bought by someone new, and there are hundreds of tickets in there.
Yeah.
I mean, the tenants are suffering so badly, and they're just pocketing the money.
Absentee landlord.
Yes.
So, first of all, you can't vet the tenants anymore. They did away with that. You can't do background checks on people.
Yeah.
No. But I honestly feel like you can always call our office, you can always meet with the landlord, have a sit down, have a conversation to try to make things better, make sure that their homes are cleaner, to make sure that the tenants themselves have an understanding about respect in the neighborhood. I'm open to create or craft some kinds of legislation, but if these people have outstanding fines and violations against them, you can call my office, there's stuff we can handle as far as that's concerned.
Right, because it happens to be an apartment building next door to me that for decades was very well maintained by the owner that had connection to the neighborhood and community. And now, and it's really horrific. Sometimes for 2 or 3 weeks they don't do the garbage, it's bad. And the tenants who've been there a long time, they're suffering. So I did mention to them, I would ask if we can form a group or do something. So you'll be hearing from us.
We can do something like that.
Okay, go ahead.
I know there's a list for large buildings for like slumlord landlords, but it doesn't pertain, unfortunately, to smaller homes, 3 families or less. So I don't know if there's a way or a possibility to try to create a list for 3-family homes or smaller, because typically the list that the city has is for landlords that own larger building.
Multiple.
Well, this is like 4 floors, it's like an actual apartment building, not huge, but there are probably 20 apartments. So you would be open to
Yes.
like developing a list?
Yeah, a list for smaller homes, and I don't know if it's possible to create some legislation saying, which, again, with the climate, like the incumbent mentioned in the city council right now, stating that, you know, if you bought a home, that it couldn't, if it was 4 units or less, it couldn't be used as an investment property or something along those lines to protect quality of life. That might be another option.
Okay, thank you. All right, so let's go to an audience question. Okay, with the 1900 Seminole Just Home Project having a September 18th hearing, what would be your plan to stop this project? And I guess it's Joel first.
I think that we've been doing everything that we can be doing. An example is the protest that's gonna take place downtown. Unfortunately, the city voted as a whole. So all we can do is continue to make noise and show that that doesn't work for our area. I've been very verbal on this since the very beginning, since I started running, that I don't support that. To me, it's similar to the Valley situation, right? We gotta continue to fight, we gotta continue to make it an issue. We gotta continue to say what we're gonna say, despite what happens across the city. But unfortunately, like, there's an elephant in the room, right, that nobody's really addressing. Number one is, I think me and the incumbent agree on certain issues more than the person that's not here. So the fact that the person is not here goes to me, shows a disrespect to the audience and the people here. That's just my personal opinion. The other thing is, when we go to all these meetings, and I'm sure the incumbent could testify to this, like, I see all the same people, right? We're the people that are involved in our community, making decisions, what cares about what really happens. But unfortunately, or fortunately, I mean, we live in a democratic society. We're not the majority of the voting bloc, right? So the people that are the most active, the most involved, are not the ones that get to make the ultimate decisions. It's open to the community as a whole, and most of the community is struggling with affordability and surviving, and their family and their other issues, so they aren't as involved with the day-to-day things like most of us that are at these meetings and at these groups.
What was the?
No,
I just want to know what the bottom of the question was. I know it was about the just.
So, yes, and what would be your plan to stop this project?
I'm working. I'm doing everything I can to stop it. Since day one, since I've gotten to office, I've spoken to, you can laugh all you want back there. I think it's funny.
That's,
I've done everything I can. I've
Ronnie,
spoken to
who else?
everybody I possibly can.
Ronnie.
I am trying my hardest to stop it. And we still have time, and there can still be a possibility that it's going to stop. We have a hearing on September 18th. I urge everybody to come out, speak your piece. Tell them what you want to see in the property, what...
All right, please turn the phones off.
Ginny, is that you again?
Yeah.
No.
I just, listen, come out, be a part of it, be there, tell them why you want it, why you don't want it, express yourself, and just rally with me, and just know I am working and fighting as hard as I can, and I am limited as to what I can say because it is a land use matter that is in front of me right now, and it's a conflict of interest you're really going to, but just know I am fighting.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Mary,
Bad timing, bad timing. Swallow.
Did you say no?
Does anyone else have?
No, I do. It's actually
No, Charlene.
What's she singing now?
Charlene.
You could make a public service announcement
I can't hear.
today about the district. What would that be?
What? I couldn't hear.
Okay, so, Christie, I think you're first. Since
What was the question?
if she answered last, so she should. Right. Yeah.
What is she saying?
Welcome and come move to our district. We have one of the best city council districts here in the New York City area. We have a great quality of life. We have 2 really good precincts. We are all like-minded people, hard-working people that respect and love our community. And we are clean. We get rid of graffiti immediately. We get rid of garbage right away.
Yep.
We have one of the most pristine neighborhoods. It's not going to be pristine all of the time, but we make sure, our office makes sure that it is taken care of almost immediately. So I know people love to come move here from other districts. Welcome.
All right. We're crazy 80.
Come to the 13th, where you can have your slice of the American dream. The Bronx has beautiful places. Don't believe the hype. We have organizations that care about its people, that are involved, where quality of life is a priority to us, where the police officers are our partners and we work together. Come to the 13th, but only if you believe in family values and care about the community and unity.
But, you know, as you both are kind of, I just want to say, hinting at, in this community, people don't always vote along party lines, which I love. People, sometimes they vote for the actual candidate and what they're doing and how they're impacting the community. And that's really lovely to see. So, I have another question. Okay, so we just had some terrible feedback regarding how our children are progressing educationally. Compared to 2019, the National Assessment of Educational Progress, which is like the report card of the nation, for example, reported that only 22% of 12th graders perform at grade level in terms of their basic skills in math, and just 35% of 12th graders perform at grade level in reading. We are also really struggling with chronic absenteeism. I don't think it's a money issue. We're spending $38,000 per pupil for terrible outcomes. So this to me is a threat to the well-being of our city and our country. How can we ever get people out of poverty if they can't read and don't have basic math skills? So what would you all do to improve educational outcomes in the Bronx, in our district?
What do you want to do?
Joel's first.
What do you want to do?
This is an issue that's dear to my heart. I think that the educational system in general needs an overhaul. Then the 2 most important things, at least to me, that I think needs to be taught to our youth and young people, one is financial literacy and credit. They don't address that at all in school. But we have to learn in earth science how an amoeba uses the bathroom, or how an earthworm, you know, things that honestly, if you're not going into that field, you're never going to use. So I think we need to make sure that financial literacy and how credit works is something that's mandatory from an early age, from elementary school. And that's done on purpose. They don't want us to understand how money works. When you go to any college or university, all the credit card companies are there like vultures, and they give our kids credit cards so that they can get in debt, because they don't understand how credit works. They don't understand what earned income is, passive income, portfolio income, stocks. There was a statistic that came out that if you bought every iPhone, special effects.
Well, John usually does it.
So there was a statistic that came out that if you bought every iPhone since iPhone started, if you would have invested that money in Apple, you would have had millions of dollars.
That's right.
But our kids are so, the new 15 came out, the new 16 came out, and they don't, they don't own any stock, so they want to have a $300 belt, a $200 this, but no money in their wallet. The other thing is civics. If you ask the average person what's a public advocate, right? That goes along with the mayor's race that we'll be voting in November. What's the speaker, where our incumbent works? They don't teach the difference between city government, state government, federal government. They don't teach civics. They don't teach the branches. Again, if this is so important, and this is how all decisions are made, and how we can influence our community, why don't they teach us civics, and why don't they teach us finance? But there's a whole bunch of other things that they teach us that to me don't make any sense, that are useless.
All right, so first of all, it's $42,000 per student per school year. And that money has went up, and they have a lot of explaining to do. And my job in city council is that when the chancellor comes in, these are the questions I need to ask, and I need to know why, and she has to be held accountable. She is one of the highest paid city employees out of all New York City. Could you believe that?
No.
I'm sure she has a lot on her plate, but you gotta be a little accountable as to why these kids are failing. I have met with almost every single principal in the district to find out what their needs are. We funded over $2 million to like electronic labs, STEM labs, because reading and writing math sometimes isn't always students' strong points, which I get. They created a new high school here in our district that I am so impressed with. It's a medical high school. If it was around when I was in high school, I definitely would have went there. And it teaches you how to come away with certificates to do EKG, how to take blood.
Wow.
Typical reading and writing, you do have to have those basics because that's your foundation. But at the end of the day, sometimes we need to have some of these other forms of schools, a little bit of an alternative. And I have to be honest with you, I feel like $42,000, you have the Catholic schools in our district who are outperforming. They function at a fraction of the price, less than $10,000 per student. And the charter schools are a little up there, but they're less as well. I just feel like, I understand, like Lehman High School, for example. When I went there, it was one school, one principal, one assistant principal. Now it's 5 different schools, which there are 5 different types of schools and needs, and I understand that, but that's 5 principal salaries. That's 5 assistant principal salaries. That's a lot of money going towards salaries. So I think there needs to be some kind of balance moving forward, and I think really they need to be accountable as to how come this price point is so high and where the money is going to.
Can I tack on to that? I'm sorry. You don't ask a question? You can ask a question, right question.
Oh, God.
And also, I do want to say, but I am working on a study to try to help one day get us to a school choice bill where it's like a voucher program where, I've always said that because it's like, when I put my child into daycare, the pre-K3, it was like the first city service that I've ever gotten that I was entitled to and that it was free to for my child. That was a big help to us. So if we can allocate $10,000 per student per school year, and you can go either a charter school, a public school, or a private school, I think that's a home run.
Okay. Thank you. That would be awesome. Okay, I do have a question, and then we can go back to another. My question is, we are all well aware of the city of Yes, and I'm sure you are both aware of the lawsuit that is there against the city of Yes, which Van Ness Neighborhood Alliance is a civic association as a plaintiff, and many of us are individuals on the plaintiffs on that lawsuit. Understanding the city of Yes as it is, which is what is your position on it, and how, just give some feedback on what you feel about the city of Yes, whether we're for it or oppose it, etc. So, we'll start with,
I go first.
you go first, okay.
I voted no to the city of Yes down in the city council because I feel like it's not a one-size-fits-all plan. Every community is not the same. You cannot develop each community as the same. Our sewer infrastructure is very important. I can tell you in the back of Country Club where my parents lived, when they first moved there, it was no problems flooding. They built 3 condominium complexes, there's a couple of hundred apartments. Every time it rains, you get a little bit of flooding in the bathroom. When it's big major storms, they get flooding in their entire house. So infrastructure was a huge thing. I know they allocated $1 billion for infrastructure. Let me tell you something, we could soak up $1 billion very easily here in our district from the flooding alone. And what that did, the city of Yes, it opened the door to the questions on the ballot, taking away the city council's power. Now, when we negotiate for a land use item, we negotiate for, infrastructure, sewer, schools, and with these ballot proposals, it's basically like the city of Yes on steroids. And it's gonna allow people to come in, buy things as of right, and, we're not gonna have a say in any of it. We can't take down certain areas, like when we did the Metro North rezoning, I was able to bring certain heights down, certain areas that I felt didn't really fit with the fabric of the community, and I had them remove it. Certain areas where I felt like they could build, I was like, it's okay to build back here. I know this district. I know what's gonna work, and I know what's not gonna work. But we need to have the money, we need to have the infrastructure set up in order to build and build the right way.
All right, thank you.
I've always said that I'm against the city of Yes. Do we need affordability? Yes. The city's struggling, but I'm a real estate broker, right? And I do real estate development as well, and it doesn't make sense the way they do things. Even when you hear about, and you guys know, right? There's something called Housing Connect, and there's all these supposedly affordable housing, and when you go on it, it's like, oh, affordable housing, $3,300 for a studio. I was like, who's this affordable to? So a lot of the new developments just don't make sense. They don't give us a chance to negotiate with the developer. So just as the incumbent said, if a developer wants to come in, I've always said, we're not saying we're against development, but the development has to make sense, and they should need to meet with the different associations. I feel for developers coming in, they should need to meet with Van Ness, they should need to meet with Morris Park, they should need to meet with each of the groups and see what the community wants and how this development will benefit the community so that it's a win-win situation. And unfortunately, a lot of times, affordable housing, the only winners are the developers that write big checks.
And the politicians.
And the politicians.
Hey.
Not you, the other guy. The other ones.
Well, the developers write big checks. And you guys also have to be fair. In order to get elected, you have to do mailings. You have to have people canvass. You have to go out there and get the votes. Guess what? That takes money. And unfortunately, a lot of people that don't care about the community could write the biggest checks. And ultimately, we as the community lose. So the system is also broken because we need that money. Elected officials need that money typically to stay in office. But then you're beholden to the person instead of the community as a whole. So we have to be honest and real. We can't live in make-believe land, Grace.
Well,
If
you take money from a developer, you should not be beholden to them. You say, thank you very much. That's it.
We have another question from the audience. Okay. What do you see as the #1 infrastructure issue facing, I'll change it to facing our district, such as roads, water quality, etc. Water quality, etc. And how would you fix it? So #1 infrastructure issue in the district and how you would fix it.
It's up to you. You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Our district is absolutely unique. You can't just have, it's not, like I said, one size fits all. In Throgs Neck, Locust Point, you have flooding, you have coastal flooding, you have flooding from the sewers. Over there, you're gonna try to combat, infrastructure as far as sewers and building up the seawalls. Some of City Island has seawall flooding as well, but they seem to be pretty good. A lot of our roads, especially on Shore Road, the Shore Road is not good,
Yeah.
but that's something that we need to get federal funding for. Unfortunately, our budget is not gonna cover that. I know that crime, unfortunately, on the west side of the district has been increasing a little bit. I know that some of the housing complexes are having a problem, not one with, in our district, one with the other side. So I've given the resources. I think we've given an Argus camera for that portion of the district to help, you know, with the 49th precinct. And it's all about funding and having programs for the kids. You know, we spoke about a basketball program. I did a basketball program 2 years in a row over in Columbus High School for the kids to get them off the streets. I've done family days over there, you know. I've helped assist with things like that.
Well, I can just say also that with this increase in funding, we will be looking very closely at how to engage our youth in regular programming so that they know they have a community that's invested in them. Okay, next. Oh, just.
To me, I think one of the infrastructure issues is parking. I think we have a lot of issues with parking. I may lose a vote back there, my friend that always rides his bike, but there's a lot of these scooters that come in that create a nightmare on their own. They're driven sometimes unsafely. They're driven by kids without helmets. Sometimes they're going at a speed that affects seniors and it's just unsafe. I'm not saying we don't need them at all, but it goes back to what I was saying, right, Grace? These companies write big checks, they have influences, they get bills passed. If we took a survey, do we really need all those city bikes and all these different scooters? If you ask the 13, I'm sure most of the residents would say no. We're not saying we want to eliminate them completely because there are areas that are double zones and they can be utilized, but the magnitude of the amount of scooters and city bikes and all these companies that are not from here come in and take up our parking spaces, to me is injustice. The other thing that I would look at, and I don't know if it's possible, is that some homes don't have their own parking space. And could there be a way to say that the city spot right in front of your home is permit to that person? And they have it in other areas. I go to a lot of places in Westchester where they say no, to park on this block you have to be a homeowner or have a permit that lives in this area.
They have it in Parkchester.
Yeah. So that would be something that I would focus on. The other thing is, I think, and even if I'm not elected, I would love to work with our incumbent, that we need a trolley in this area. A free trolley.
We used to have a trolley.
Would take people. The 13th is one of the areas that it's so spread out, right? To get from Throgs Neck to City Island, if you don't drive, it's very challenging. So I would want to see if we can get some type of funding so that we can have a trolley that takes people around the 13th. Doesn't have to be all day or 7 days a week, but I think it would be a great resource to the community if we had a free trolley to help us transport the people of the 13th.
They have, in New York, they have, NYU has a trolley that goes to all of the 800 buildings.
NYU has money. The city's not gonna pay for something like that.
Yeah.
They're barely keeping their buses together because people don't pay to get on the bus. It says, you see a bus coming, it says, you have to pay the fare. Fare required.
And the bus drivers can't, I have
can't do
bus
anything.
drivers, and they're like, we're just glad that we're not being beat up.
Wow. Okay, you guys, we have a lot of audience questions. So, let's get to.
Can I ask, I'm gonna interrupt. Please, when people are talking, when other people are talking, when you talk and having conversations, we all hear it and it's disrupting. So if there's something that has to be said, you could go outside, you can go in the back or whatever, but it's just, if you could keep things to a point where we can hear what's going on.
Appreciate it, thank you. Otherwise, pipe down.
Okay, so this is a question, interesting. Cannabis businesses, we have many pop-up smoke and cannabis shops in Throgsneck. How can we, and here too, how can we regulate the licensing of cannabis business? Yes.
All these pop-ups are illegal, and we do everything we possibly can to shut them down. I will tell you, when I first heard that when you have a legal dispensary come to your community, that it is going to help with the illegal dispensaries in the neighborhood, it actually is. It is, because they really do enforcement, a little bit more enforcement to clean up the area so that this legal business is protected, and that if people are not just going to Joe Schmo on the corner and still buying the illegal bad drugs that have chemicals and aren't regulated by the state. So we have shut down over 20 illegal shops. We're gonna start that back up again to really hype it up. If you have anything, areas or locations, call my office, email my office. We are now passing them on to the sheriff and the Q teams, both Q teams, and 45th and the 49th, to really jump back on top of that. And we are working on legislation to change the language to make it a little bit more enforceable. Okay. Because it has to do with the way that the law is written. So we just put in legislation. We just met with the sheriff in both precincts, and we had this conversation, and it has to do with the way the way the law is written. So if we can call on the state to actually, we can do a resolution which calls on the state to make them change the law. Hopefully we can pass something like that, and we can get bigger crackdowns in this community. Because drugs, I don't do drugs. I don't like drugs. I don't, I think that that's going to be the downfall for our kids in the community. Sorry, I'm downfall for the kids in our community, and I'm like adamantly strict on supporting them to stop that. And even if you know of any hard drugs being dealt, let us know. We will pass this along to the narcotics division, because we've done that on Leidig Avenue. We got a call, make sure they went out there, they busted 2 guys selling crack. We're going to try to clean up this community as best we possibly can.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I'm sorry, Joel, we're going to go back and just occur. I also just want to reinforce, speaking about mental health, that every day I use public transportation, and it is extremely upsetting to see young people. They're getting high at 8 o'clock in the morning, and they are young. That's not a casual user. And in 10 to 20 years, we will be paying to take care of them because they are very sick. And we have a tremendous increase in ER visits and everything because of this very powerful, potent marijuana. So I don't know if there's anything educational that can be started at city council.
Yeah, I mean,
Something to educate our
people,
youth
remember, they were
about.
saying that they spray it with chemicals like rat poison and stuff like that, and it's like.
But that's unfortunately,
and even the gummies, they're not like,
all
you don't
that
buy it
stuff
from a real
basically
dispensary, it's not regulated
no,
at all.
it's not good, it's not good.
That's not true.
So, Joel, your turn.
I would just say ditto. The only thing that I would add is that we were talking today about 311 calls, and a lot of times when we call 311, it's because of parking or things that personally bother us. And sometimes when it comes to the illegal marijuana stores, we know about them, but we don't really do anything. I would just encourage everybody to call 311 and report them, and get your neighbors. And even if you can start a little campaign where you and a few of your friends, you reach out to them and say, look, I'm gonna call today on Monday, you call tomorrow on Tuesday, and sort of come up with a systematic plan where you're calling 311 and reporting the location. And on your group chat that you mentioned, I think it has to be a collective effort, right? If there's something that we don't like that's happening, we have to work collectively and make sure that we're all on the same page. Because it's a real serious issue, not only illegal chemicals, but fentanyl has been a big thing. And they're even cutting now marijuana with fentanyl.
And the newer one.
He's right about that.
And there's a new drug also that's that is exponentially more powerful than fentanyl. That is,
What?
yes, so. Okay, so, next question. Big developers are pricing out the middle class in the Bronx. How do we maintain our communities for middle class families when politicians are selling out their neighborhoods to the large developers? Any, Joel, you will go first.
I think it goes back to what I said earlier, right? We need to make sure that when a developer wants to come in and build something, that we have influence on what's gonna take place. I think a perfect example was when they said the $25,000 that this organization is gonna get over 5 years. I feel the same thing with the hospital, even though we didn't want it to be that tall, right? If somebody wants to come in and build something, then what's gonna be the direct benefit for us that live in the community? I think there should be some type of legislation that says if you're a senior and maybe you could, it's unfortunate that all the subsidies, and nobody talks about this. Everybody says all the subsidies are for the really poor, which there's some truth to that. But what nobody talks about is, who gets the most subsidies? The really wealthy. When you think about developers, when they get all type of tax incentives. Look at Google, look at all the big corporations. So they get billions of dollars in tax subsidies. They don't call it a subsidy, right? So they call it something else. But the point is, we need to make sure, what about us? What about the hardworking teacher or resident or senior that's lived their whole life working hard and doesn't get anything? It shouldn't only be based on economics. It should just be based on the fact, okay, I'm a homeowner, I'm over a certain age, maybe I get some type of tax break or additional tax incentive.
Been watching my videos. That's my idea. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I didn't know that, but we finally agree on some policy, Grace. And I just think, my hand was so great that they'd be like. So I think we need more regular subsidies for regular, hard-working, working class people.
That's right.
Even with rent, mothers that with childcare,
And what about seniors?
I started.
Yes, seniors.
I started off with seniors, and it sounds silly and it sounds like a catchphrase, but we just need common sense sort of back in government. It's like we've lost our common sense, and a lot of the policies and things that we do just don't make any sense. And I don't know who's supporting them.
It's the Democrat Party, that's
We
what.
need to bring common sense.
The socialists, who else?
And they need to remember that this city was built on us, the middle class.
That's right.
I've said it a long time. It sucks when we're too poor to be rich and too rich to be poor. What about us in the middle? We need to get something.
No, we pay.
All right, next question, how?
She didn't answer.
Oh, I'm sorry. See, I go ahead.
Listen, I learned it firsthand with the Metro North rezoning, and I saw it. It's a negotiation. I mean, if people buy a property as of right, and they can build it with the city of yes provisions, they're allowed to have a certain height with their zoning and a certain amount of space and how many apartments they could put in. But if they're looking to redevelop a larger property and they need a rezoning approved by the city council, that's when you have the ability to step in, and that's when you have the ability to get the needs of the infrastructure. You can say how high you want it, how low you want it. We've gotten on Bronxdale, I was able to negotiate 500 home ownership opportunities. So even if they have 5 buildings, 500 at least of those apartments will be home ownership. We need a pathway to the middle class. We need something good. It's about really just negotiating and trying to see what fits for the community and how much of a partner the developer wants to be with our neighborhoods and our communities. And some development we need, like that hospital, I think it's a great idea. I think it's something that our community really needs. I mean, unfortunately, Albert Einstein is, their ER times are not so great. We've had my friends' family members have been in the ER for over 20 hours. That's a quality of life, a way of life. And then they had to get transferred to the hospital on the west side. So we need good, innovative healthcare in this community. I've had personal conversations with them. They took the height down dramatically. I was privy to the new design. I personally think it's good, but at the end of the day, you guys have to be the ones that have to be happy with it. But I think it's stuff like that we need to do, but it's really about having a conversation, negotiation, letting them know what you're okay with changing, and letting them know what your hard stance no on, and just following through with that.
Are you talking about the 45,
Yes.
for that one?
Yes.
Okay, what was it brought down to?
36. But the way the design is, it's gonna be pushed back, so it's not gonna be so high and in front. They basically took the top portion, cut it in half, and moved it off of the back. They angled it back off of the street. And what they also did was they were gonna build a 12-story building on the corner of, I think it's Van Ness and Tenbrook.
Yes.
They were gonna put a 12-story building there as their facilities, and I said that can't happen. You have 1-story, 2-story family homes.
Yes.
And what they did is they incorporated it into the building, so that's no longer.
That makes sense.
Okay, very good, thank you for that.
That's nice.
So,
And that's gonna bring jobs, that's gonna bring union jobs, that's gonna bring hospital jobs, and that's gonna better our quality of life with our health care.
Yeah. So what's the next question?
Okay, but I'm sorry, I just wanted to say, so when you speak about things like that, that's why there is no excuse for any child in our community not to understand that if they go to school, they get a basic education, there's a job that will provide a good future right here in our community. And I think that we need to make sure that we put those structures in place so that every child, by the time they graduate from high school, knows what they're gonna do, which path they're on. Are they going to university? Are they going to trade school?
Well, that's why we have this New Haven school, right off Williamsbridge. And they can go learn about the medical field and then get a job in the medical field as like a tech or an assistant. And if they want to continue their medical degree in any way, shape, or form, they have a place where they can have a job and then go to school part-time.
Vocational.
Right, so I wanna ask, just following this, what do you both think about creating trade schools in District 13, such as plumbing, carpentry, or electricity?
Oh, I'm all for it. I have.
Eagles.
Oh, sorry.
Well,
Yeah, you know this, so I go first.
Yeah, she goes.
Okay. I'm all for it. I'll support it. I'll help develop it. I'll get you to, if you have an idea and I'll get you to whatever resources you need to create this and have this come to school. Listen, I wasn't a great student. I know that for a fact. That's why I went into the medical field. I don't have a big grandiose education, but I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And it was more of a technical, more of a hands-on trade. And it's something that I'll always have with me for the rest of my life. Not everybody's here for the long haul of college and to go for a master's and a bachelor's degree.
And I shouldn't be made to feel that way.
Yes, and I feel like technical schools, vocational schools, I think those are the way to go. I know people whose sons, it's like, they don't know what to do with themselves. They don't want to send them to college. They don't want to waste their money on college. It's like, but it's so hard to get into these trades. I think one of the trades, they were saying you gotta wait online outside at like 4 o'clock in the morning just to get an application, and that's still not even guaranteed that you're gonna be able to get, the training for the job. So if we can create more opportunities like that here in our district or within the city altogether, I would be so supportive of it.
Okay, and you would support, for example, because I think the unions and employers like Einstein or Montefiore, they should be going into the schools.
Yeah, those kids in that high school will be able to intern at Einstein, Montefiore, and hopefully get jobs afterwards. Because when I interned in college, that's what we did. We ended up getting a job in the hospital that we trained in.
Because we want to encourage people. I keep hearing like in our city council and in the city government, it's always about spending more money, more taxpayer money, more money. There's never a discussion about how to support someone being a functional citizen so that they can be a taxpayer and they can live the American dream. I don't hear that spoken about at all. So Joel, it's his turn.
I definitely would support it. I don't think it's not only supporting, but I think it should be mandatory that you take some type of trade in your 4 years of high school. We promote so much college, which college is great, education is great, but college is also a business. If you look at the statistics and the study of the amount of people that graduate universities and the debt that they've incurred and their ability to get a job in that field, it's alarming. So I think we need to open it up more, and teach people about being plumbers, electricians. Some of my good friends make a tremendous amount of money, a lot more money than people that have graduated college being in trades. And so I think there needs to be more education, more access, and maybe there should be, something called trade day, where trades just come in just like in college careers and talk to kids, or just like you have to take a foreign language, that you have to, it's not that you're gonna become an expert, but at least get a little touch of that, whether it's culinary, whether it's being a plumber, whether it's HVAC, whether it's being an electrician. These are tremendous opportunities that are careers, not just jobs. So we need to teach our children, okay, if you're not willing to go to college, then you need to at least get involved in something that's gonna help you have a career, not just a job.
Okay.
I used to have that in the high school.
Yeah.
Always.
Auto shop.
Exactly. And some of the younger schools, they have auto shops and culinary programs.
Yeah, they used to have home ec
I
shop.
want to make sure to get this question in because it's a big one that
Burn.
a lot of people are interested in. How do you feel about the Bally's Casino coming into this district? And I won't wait, you're first.
Oh, it doesn't matter when.
I've been opposed to the Bally's Casino
almost 9.
since day one. I almost got thrown out at one of the forums because Bally's came in and did this Mickey Mouse presentation, and they said 70% of the community supports this project and blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, really? So I looked at the audience and I said, who supports this project? And all you heard was boos. And I was like, who's against this project? And all you heard was cheering. And then the chairman of the board said, oh, this isn't a talk show, something, Mickey Mouse show, whatever. I said, oh, so Bally's could put on their facade, but when the community really wants to speak, you don't want to hear what we have to say.
Right.
I'm against it 100%. I don't think we need it. I don't think we want it. And I think, we've spoken pretty clearly. All the key gatekeepers of all the associations are against it. So I just don't understand why, it's still an issue. I think we've spoken very clearly. But big money, and going back to what we were talking about, big corporations, they write big checks, have a lot of influence, unfortunately.
They must have donated a lot to Adam's campaign.
So you guys know how I feel about Bally's. I think Bally's is bad for the Bronx, and I fought my butt off. Unfortunately, the mayor stepped in 2 times. He made it to be a supermajority for the first parkland alienation, which I was not happy about because I'm not keen on taking parkland. I think that whole thing was a big joke. I've asked for acre-to-acre parkland replacement, and was basically shrugged off like no. Where they want to replace the parkland is over 6 miles away in City Island, and that's just, to me, that's abandonment to the people who use Ferry Point Park and the neighbors in Frog's Neck. That's not real investment. They should have appeased me and entertained me and said, oh, well, we can build a park here, we could build a park here. Do you know that Frog's Neck does not have one play park for small children?
Wow.
Absolutely.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. This is going to be one of the largest casinos that our country has ever seen, and they're looking to build it on public parkland.
Not
Okay?
exactly what the Bronx
No. Listen, and as far as the unions are concerned, the jobs are gonna be here. At any of the 3 downstate casinos, the union jobs will be here, and we will have jobs wherever these casinos may be. Unfortunately, from a land use perspective, there's only one way into Ferry Point Park and one way out, and it's a 2-lane road. We also have a 1 million square foot Amazon facility at the footbed of the entrance to go to this 2-lane road. My biggest thing that I asked for was traffic. Not until 2 days before the meeting and the vote was I engaged about traffic. They told me, I said, listen, it was a golf course for a reason. It's a golf course because they don't draw large crowds all year long. It's a seasonal place. You're getting a couple cars during the day, and that's it. You're getting thousands and thousands of cars on an everyday basis to this place, okay? And air quality. Air quality to me was like the biggest disappointment, because what they ended up doing is they took their baselines of the air quality down in the South Bronx, where there's the highest rates of asthma due to vehicular pollution. So what that means is basically it's gonna minimize any air quality impacts it has directly on Ferry Point Park.
Because the baseline is artificially high.
Right.
So I just feel like I stepped up. I fought for this. I fought my butt off for this for the community. I spoke to every single person I came in contact with, and I would ask them, I didn't have to host a big forum or go to a community board meeting. I'm out there seeing people every single day. If I'm in the grocery store, I'm standing next to somebody at the supermarket and the fruits and vegetables. I'm like, hi, how are you? I'm like, so what do you think about this casino? And they'll be honest with me. Either sometimes they don't know who I am, or they do know who I am, but they give me honest feedback. And I just felt like the majority of my interactions and letters that I received in my district were against Bally's. So I don't think it's good for the Bronx. I think it's gonna create an environmental disaster, and I just feel like we deserve better, especially their community benefits agreement. It was nothing compared to the other casino sites. Wow. You know, they're giving an X amount of money a year. Yes, money can fix things. Money can make things better. But money is not going to fix the problems that this is going to take. Do you know that we have 5 schools in the surrounding vicinity? Do you know that there's already challenges at PS 304 with drop-off and pickup? That there's 3 cars deep? And that's when people get off the Cross Bronx, they're going to loop around and head back on that expressway on the westbound to go down to the casino. And that's going to be a big problem for people. It's going to be like City Island in the summer. You got to get out and do your grocery shopping early so you could get back to your house and you don't got to combat the traffic. Because even in the summer, we're dealing with traffic between the Bronx Neck and the Whitestone Bridge. But when I kept saying traffic to them, they're like, oh, it's traffic. They kept brushing me off, but this is real quality of life stuff that we're gonna have. And, you know, I can't project crime or anything like that because I don't know, but proximity to gambling, when you live close to a casino, you're gonna go and gamble, and that can create problems for some people. So I'm against it, I'm opposed it, I'm fighting it every step of the way.
Okay. Well, is there any, did we get? I think we have everything. You guys can decide. I think it says, with massive ICE arrest of law abiding? That doesn't make sense to me. Illegal.
Law abiding?
Law, what?
Law abiding.
I'm guessing.
Yeah, so if you're law abiding, you can't be illegal.
Right.
Anyway, would you think ICE on Rikers Island would work better to get criminals out with multiple shootings? In the Bronx, do you think stricter gun laws would help? So, yeah.
Who wrote that question? What the hell?
They're both federal issues, and the mayor was just recently denied having, yes, on Rikers Island, so that's a null and void.
Okay. And then what about, do you think we need stricter gun laws? Federal. All right, so who's, Christy, are you first or Joe? I lost track. Joe, why don't you?
I'm confused about the question. I don't.
Do you want stricter gun laws?
I think we need, I'm pretty synonymous about everything. I don't think it's about stricter, I think it's about laws that make sense, right? So maybe like the waiting period, if someone has a mental health issues or background, I don't think that, law-abiding citizens need more restrictions. New York City is one of the hardest places to get a carry permit. If you just live right up in Westchester, you can get a shotgun application. It's very different than New York City, and you're coming to testify to that. So I think that we need laws that make sense. So if someone has mental health issues, waiting periods, and I think there needs to be stronger penalties for people that are buying guns legally and then selling them illegally. We have to take the economics out of things, right? So that would be my answer.
We have some of the strictest gun laws in the city.
In
It's
the
hard to
state,
get.
in the country.
Well, no, in New York City,
Yeah.
out of the whole country, we have some of the strictest laws. I met a gentleman who was a former police officer, and in order to get his permit to carry, he had to go through hoops. You gotta be there at like a certain time in the morning if they'll even take you and get an appointment. And, we have really strict gun laws, and I do believe in the right to bear arms, and I do believe that you need to be responsible, and I do believe you need to follow the laws. So.
Oh, okay, this is the last one now. So speaking of following the law and crime and that, is there anything either one of you think can be done to protect us from schemes to defund the police? And also, would there be any way to bring back qualified immunity for police officers?
So I fund the police. I fund over like $12 million to the NYPD over the last 2 years. I am big into doing programming and events with the children to get them off the streets with the NYPD. I've tried to give them the necessary tools that they have, that they need to have to do the job that they feel they can do. We've purchased, I'm having a little senior moment here, drones. We've gotten into Argus cameras. I have about 13 more of them to put up through the district. I'm just here to support them. I think they're doing their job. I know their job is not an easy job, and I am always fully funding the police, even if it's with my own discretionary funding, or if I have to sit down in downtown in City Hall and fight for every time that they deserve, I'm willing to do so.
Okay.
I don't believe in defunding the police. I think we need to have more programs, just how like the police officers came here. I think there should be a program where the police officers go and speak to the seniors at the high schools. That's not rocket science, right? They come to all the tenant association and all these different groups. Why aren't they going to the high schools where they're most likely to encounter these youth and young people in the community? I think that's something that should be recommended, that they go and speak with all the different local high schools in the area. And I think we need more events, again, that engage the police and the community in a non-confrontational way. I think basketball tournaments are one way, but there could be a lot of things. There could be a bowling tournament. There could be so many different things where we could get the police to engage with the community on a regular basis in a non-confrontational way, so that we can all see each other as partners.
Okay, I think that's it. I think that's it, and I think everybody is
Can
I want to thank,
Can I ask a question?
Candidates here, and I wish both of you best of luck.
She's
and
talking.
Thank you so much for listening. A lot of questions.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we still have our agenda of elected official representatives that will have some information.
Well,
Would like to tell everybody. So before everybody leaves, we are going to have Hi, good to see you.
Again. So, I didn't get a chance to ask a question. My question would be, I was over there, I can't, because I was trying to be quiet. But my question would be, if Mamdani becomes mayor, what can she do to stop him or slow him down from his...
That's a very good question.
Somebody's brought up
Ask her now.
Okay. Wait, Joel, come back. Where's Joel? Oh, so sorry. Where's Joel? I'll get him separate. The question that I didn't get to ask, what happened here? Okay. Is, should Mamdani become mayor, what can you, and hopefully persuade the other council members, do to stop his radical agenda or at least slow him down? What can we do?
We can, first of all, work with him on anything radical that he does try to present to the city. See if there's a way to work with him to minimize the effects so it won't be too much. We do try to negotiate things, and then if not, you just not happy with it, you just vote against him and say, we're not there.
Okay.
Hopefully we don't get any of this council grace.
I know, they all endorsed him. But I know. Listen, you're speaking through the choir, honey. What? Say again?
There's 3 in the running besides Madame.
No, there's like 25 people running for mayor. They only show you Cuomo, who's a murderer and a sexual predator. You got Adams, who's a crook, who's corrupt, and you got Mamdani, who's a socialist, and then you have Irene Estrada, she's running. Curtis, and don't believe when they say Curtis don't have a chance, he needs to drop out. That's the psychological operation they're putting on people so they can say, oh, well, it's going to be a wasted vote. I tell people that go waste your vote, but vote for Curtis, because that's a lie. They keep trying to tell people that he's got to drop out and Adam's got to drop out so Cuomo can be mayor. These people are insane. Yeah, so, all right, hold on. Wait. Sorry?
She told us not to have...
No, listen, you gotta make sure, you gotta vote for Curtis. You gotta get people to vote for Curtis. That's it. Are we done? The meeting's over? Meeting's over? Oh, okay. Okay, well, there you have it. Meeting's adjourned. I didn't hear that part. So yeah, it was good meeting. Like I said, Miss Albadol did not show up. Either she thinks she's too good to show up, or she's afraid to show up. Either way, it's not a good look, and I would urge everybody, do not vote for her. As for Joel, at least he shows up. However, I believe he was a little bit out of his element. With Christy here, Christy knows her stuff, and she is the incumbent. So hold on a second. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. So, she knows what she's talking about. She's already in the trenches, and she has been fighting for this community. What Joel said about the division and the politics, and that's all the cause. That problem was caused by who's been in power for the last 40 plus years. Can we say it? Starts with a D. Let's say it. Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about. And any problems like that, she inherited. That was already here before she was even elected. So that was a straw man argument that he tried to pull. However, we're too smart for that. Sorry, Joel. Love you, but come on, let's be real. It would be good. Maybe he could work with her once she's reelected. Let's see what happens. And as far as his idea about helping homeowners, that's my idea. I'm the one that put that out there about giving them tax breaks and so on, just like developers. That was mine. I also have other ideas that if you watch my videos, you'll see what they are. I put them out there. And this is why I generally don't try to put them out there, because then you have people that are going to steal my ideas and put them off as their own. Now, if they want to give me credit, fine. but they need to give me credit for the ideas of what I'm doing. You know, trying to implement things.
Directly after the
Oh, hold on a second.
park, it's gonna be some charity asks and fun stuff.
What was that? I missed. I'm sorry. What I missed?
After
Oh, which carnival? Oh, okay. All right. So that was about the Columbus Day Parade.
Grace,
Huh?
and let you speak. Although I still have the record as the only person that put you on stage and let you speak. You don't go around telling nobody about that, huh?
No, I did. Listen, I asked her a question. The question I didn't ask, and I asked her after. I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
Should Mamdani become mayor, what would you as a city council person do to stop his radical agenda?
I think we would need to create a coalition of people that may be Democrats, but not as to the left as he is. And just
He's not just to the left, he's a socialist. That's like way beyond left.
I'm trying to say it in a nice,
No,
politically
just
correct way.
say it out. Just say it plain. We don't need to be nice.
We need to create a committee of people that don't agree with his ideals and beliefs to combat his beliefs, and so that he'll need to have a majority to vote. That's why we have checks and balances, right, in the city council.
In theory. However, the majority of the city council are Democrats, and the Bronx Democrat Party endorsed Mamdani. That means they all endorsed him. If the Bronx Democrat, Jamal, all of them, they endorsed Mamdani. So how would you, as one of the few people that would be against him, against his radical agenda, what could you do when you have the rest of the city council, the majority of the city council, on supporting him?
All we can do is what we've been doing, right? Bring attention to issues, speak about them, and let the people's concerns and beliefs be heard. We can't live in make-believe land, right? Where we say, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. You just made a good point that if he has the support of a majority, then certain things are going to pass. So,
what if he should want to implement Sharia law? What are we going to do about that? First of all, I wouldn't comply, personally. I would tell him to go kiss my you-know-what. But, a lot of people you saw during the pandemic that people complied with the mask and the shots and all the 6 feet and all that other nonsense. And we know that a lot of people are sheep and will just do as they're told, which that's a problem.
A personal decision. I can tell you that I was someone that didn't get any of those boosts or any of that other stuff.
Me either.
But those are personal decisions, so I don't want to speak for other people. I only can speak for myself, right? So there's certain things that we have to believe on principle, but I don't always try to impose my principle on other people.
Right.
I just try to educate people, let them know what I believe and what I would do and what I think is right.
Okay.
All right?
All right, Joel.
Say hi to my... Unfortunately, Grace is not my favorite person in the family. It's her grandbaby. I fell in love. We had a great time together. So shout out to the grandbaby and his mom.
Noah, Shania.
Shout out to Noah. My son's name is Noah too. That was another thing at Shania. So it was great hanging out with you guys. Make sure you support your mother. Running for office is very challenging.
Grandmother.
Both.
Okay, yeah. Well.
Both. Yeah.
Yes.
So support her. It's not easy doing what she's
doing. Do I have your vote? You're going to vote for me for Bronx Board President?
You're going to put me on.
I damn well am going to put you on the spot. Yeah, damn right I am.
I always like to support people that believe in what I believe in.
Well, I believe, listen, we agree on a lot of things.
Yes.
We
agree on most things.
Yes, we do, actually. Yes.
Even though you didn't think so. So I'm glad
I didn't. Right. I'll see you later. Okay, where's Louise? She didn't leave it. And so there you have it. Sorry, I'm like all over the place. There you have it. Got the answer from Christy about Mamdani and from Joel. So yeah, I mean, Joel's not a bad guy. He's he's a nice guy. However, we have a representative in our district that is doing the job. She's doing a great job. So I would not want to change things. Now, if things start going south and things can't get done, then you have to rethink it. But right now, we're not there. That's not going to happen. So you know, I believe in holding people accountable. So, and I don't think Christie was going to do anything that's going to be against the community. That's just a fact. Now, if she moves away or something, that's a whole different ballgame. Then it's going to be an open seat. But I mean, I'm not saying she's moving away. I'm just saying, in the event something happens where she may have to move, then we'd have to deal with it at that time. But right now, I think we're good. We just have to make sure she stays elected as our city council person. I was also encourage everyone to vote for me for Bronx Borough President, because I'm against all of that, all the things. And I said that last night at the meeting, the Bally's meeting, which was a debacle. They had all the union people come in to disrupt everything. But go back and watch that. And so with that, I'm going to say goodnight, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye.